Just press this button, you can get $1 million. But a random person will die. Will you press? In Virginia, USA, on the early Christmas morning, the doorbell of a family suddenly rang. They went out to check. On the ground there was a parcel. They opened. Inside was an ordinary wooden box. They both thought this was a gift from their friends and didn't pay much attention. They still went to work and went to school as usual. Norma was a high school teacher. After school, the principal suddenly fired her. Arthur worked at the Aerospace Bureau. Obviously he scored high on every test. But he was still rejected to become an astronaut. They lost their jobs at the same time, making the family, which was not wealthy, became even needier. Norma was really sad. At this moment someone rang the bell, a man wearing a suit. The old man, losing a corner of his face, stood at the door, quite scaring. But Norma still politely invited him in. But his next sentence made her both excited and scared. It turned out the box they received had a magic feature. Just pressing the red button, they could receive $1 million. But in exchange, one person in this world would die. Maybe someone she knew, maybe a stranger. She had 24 hours to think about it. By the time he would come and collect the button. In the evening she told her husband the story about the button. The husband found this very strange. Maybe that man was an assassin. Having committed murder, he sought someone to be framed. He dismantled the box to study, but they found nothing inside. The appearance of the button had disturbed Norma. If it's true, so $1 million was not a small number. She still wondered about the button. She couldn't resist the temptation and finally pressed the button. It seemed that outside there wasn't anything happened. But at the same time, the police received a case. When the police came, they discovered the woman lying on the ground had died. Then in the toilet, found a little girl trembling. Soon the old man fulfilled his promise, bring $1 million to the house. But in the end Arthur felt uneasy, intending to give the money back. But he told him he couldn't break his word. He did not say anything more, got in the car and left. Arthur took note of the license plate number of the car. After the investigation, the results surprised him. It turned out that a few decades ago he was an astronaut, but decades passed. His appearance slightly changed, but it was not the strangest thing. The most weird one was that, later unexpectedly, he was struck by lightning. He had passed away in the hospital. The body was sent to the morgue. The doctors outside suddenly heard him laughing out loud inside. He came back to life in a strange way. But part of his face was lost in that unexpected incident. But the lightning then, actually, it was of the aliens. Their purpose was to give him a superpower. Then send him to use this box to test the humanity. Only when humans refused to press the button, that they was considered to pass the test. Arthur found some clues in the library. He was followed by 5 strangers. He tried to find the exit, but he couldn't find out. He even found that all people in the library were watching him. Then Arthur was forced to go to the reading room. Then forced to choose by those people. 3 water doors appeared in front of him. 2 of them were the door of punishment. Only 1 door was the door of life. He chose the second door. The water immediately pulled him in. Now in the control room of the Aerospace Bureau. The old man quietly observed all. He was the controller of all these things. When Arthur regained consciousness after his coma, he found himself and the water door were sent home together. It seemed that he had chosen the lucky door. His wife reached out to touch Arthur and the water rushed down. The couple was completely confused as they didn't know what had happened. Not long after, the old man came again. This time he brought bad news. Their son was currently locked in the toilet. Their son had lost 2 of his senses. The boy could not hear or see. Then he took a gun, putting it on the table, and said now there were 2 options. One was Arthur killing Norma, thus, the son's hearing and sight would come back. Second, Arthur didn't kill Norma, their son would be blind and deaf all his life. Of course, with both options, they could continue to use $1 million. After saying that, he left. As they had seen, the old man showed his superpower many times. So the couple absolutely believed him. With Arthur, sacrificing his wife or his son, both options were absolutely difficult. But Norma loved the son more than her life. She decided to die. One person died, the whole family could escape. Arthur hugged his wife tightly. Because of his son, he just had to sacrifice his wife. At the same time, somewhere in the world, there was a woman pressing the strange box. This couple, following the previous path of Norma and Arthur. Then the police came. In the toilet they found, the son whose sight and hearing had returned was trembling. The husband was arrested for killing his wife. It all looked like when Norma pressed the button. The family of the previously dead woman had suffered the same. All this was a repeat. At the end of the movie, the old man held the strange box again, appeared at the door of a family, then pressed the bell. The test of humanity continued, until someone refused to press.